And let's have a look at the situation in the United States with respect to censorship. And we'll begin with Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes, it is a ironic situation. A lot of people find Jimmy Kimmel's humor to be kind of crude, rude, and lewd, uh, oftentimes in poor taste. And apparently, what he said, I don't watch him, but apparently, what he said was that with the Charlie Kirk event, that the Trump administration, those on the right in general, were reticent or hesitant to consider that it could be, quote, one of their own that shot Charlie Kirk, and that they wanted to too easily blame the left. I won't quote Jimmy Kimmel on exactly what he said. Some people found it to be in poor taste, but the story is kind of behind the story. In other words, there's more going on, and it reminds me of the Sun Valley, Idaho annual billionaire event where I talked about machinations going on with media consolidation and how Trump was using that as sort of a bargaining chip. Well, I got a slide here that just kind of sums this up. ABC yanks Kimmel to curry FCC favor, question mark. I'm reading from some of my notes that I compiled. Nexstar, which operates about 24 ABC affiliates, issued a press release saying it strongly objects to Kimmel's remarks about Kirk and said its stations would replace the show with other programming. But here's what's interesting. Amid all what's going on, as the smoke clears, Nexstar is seeking Trump administration approval to acquire another big U.S. station group called Tegna, Tegna. The deal requires the FCC to loosen the federal government's limits on broadcast station ownership. Minutes after Nexstar criticized Kimmel publicly, ABC as a whole said the Kimmel show was being yanked nationwide. So in other words, Nexstar may have did its part to yank Kimmel off the air so it could curry favor with the Trump administration's FCC in order to buy Tegna. And once again, as when I reported about Sun Valley, these media consolidations that the Trump administration seems to either favor or not strongly object kind of goes against the grain of criticizing the fake news, because the FCC's real job is not to so much look at content, not to take someone off the air because they disagree with what he or she said. Their real job is mainly to prevent consolidation, to prevent any one interest from owning too much media. In other words, to reduce ownership concentration like that and centralization. So Trump's FCC commissioner, however, is, excuse me, something went out there a little bit light-wise, but Trump's FCC commissioner, however, is looking at the Kimmel thing on an ideological or political plane rather than doing the FCC's core job, and that's to prevent media consolidation. So that's sort of the story behind the story right now.
Thank you, Mark.